What's up, people? John here from JJSC Tech, and yeah, it's Sunday, and we're gonna do some live streaming. You know, I'm trying to get myself back in the mood and try to live stream every Sunday and not get lazy, you know, because yeah, that definitely can happen. So today we're gonna be talking about some cinema cameras for church live streaming. So let me put a disclaimer out there. Now, if your church doesn't have the budget really for cinema cameras, then there are other options that you can look at. But if your church has roughly a budget, let's say you got 3 cameras, $10,000–$15,000 for cameras and lenses, then yeah, this video is for you. This video is for you. So we're just going to focus on one main camera, and that's the new kid on the block, which is the Blackmagic Pixis. Now, what causes this Pixis to be a great contender is because it's basically a pocket 6K Pro, which has like full frame sensor, and it's finally have a box style body. There are a few other things that makes it stand out as well, and a few things that causes it to be a bit quirky, but in general, if you're trying to get like pretty good skin tones, pretty good dynamic range, and a pretty good color image from the sensor, it's hard to beat Blackmagic, especially for the price. So let me take you to like the previous Blackmagic that a lot of churches were going to. Well, there were like 2 of them. So there was like this one right here, the Blackmagic Design Studio. So this is 6K. This is the newer one. The one before this was the 4K version, but this is the 6K Pro with the EF mount. As you see, it's pretty good. It has a nice broadcast look, and The mount is EF, and you don't have to worry about any kind of adapters and etc. Just use a pretty good EF mount, and you can get EF glass used, and you'll save some money on that in that area as well. The only thing that was really limiting this was the form factor. Like, it's pretty hard to rig out. It's kind of heavy. Like, this camera is just supposed to live on the tripod, and let me get in the center. This camera is just supposed to live on the tripod, and that's it. It's not supposed to be like picking it up and getting like handheld shots. This is not the camera for that at all. So that's why a lot of people went to the Pocket 6K. Now, this is a pretty good camera. The only thing that everyone has a problem with this is the form factor. This camera is pretty hard to rig out. Like, if you got a top handle, you need a monitor, like an external monitor to like pull proper focus and etc. And it uses HDMI. The battery life sucks. To rig it out with a V-mount battery, it can be problematic. So that is where this comes in. This right here, this is great. And as you see, look at the prices. This is $2,535 and this is $2,900. So for like 500 more, give or take. My math is a little off. For like 500 off more, you can get this box shape, and the big thing is SDI. Let me see if I can zoom in. SDI is so important, very important, especially for a professional space, and especially if you have like a whole lot of like volunteers and they don't know too much about a camera, or they don't really care too much about a camera. When it comes to breaking down the camera, oh man, SDI will save you save you a couple of dollars. So SDI is great. I think the other one is time code. And I don't know, like this screen right here at the side, this is a bad design. No one is really going to use this like that. I know it's made more so for a team. So you have the camera operator, and then you have someone at the side operating it, changing different settings and etc. But a lot of people that's going to have this camera is going to be using it. It's going to be a one person that's camera operating this. So I don't like this. A lot of people don't like this either. Yeah, that's the only thing really. Okay, so let's get to the other elephant in the room. Oh, and I should say there are 3 different mounts that come with this camera. There is the Arri PL mount, the Canon EF, and the Leica L. So for the majority of people, they're going to go with these 2 right here, the Canon EF and the Leica L mount. You can use Sony glass, and you can use Canon glass, and you can do like different adapters. Like if you still want to go to PL, you can get a EF to PL or L to PL, and you can have, or I think you can also do EF to L, whichever. These 2 are way more flexible than just getting the Arri PL. Now, if you just use PL glass, then hey, you're gonna spend a little bit extra. I don't know why that is, but it is what it is. And these 2 are the same price. Yeah. Let's see. 13 stops of dynamic range. Hey, let's just get into the features of this thing. Now, for $3,000, like no one is really beating this. No one is really beating this camera. So, full frame. So you'll have that nice bokeh, your glass, if you have a full frame glass, and you can also use something like, let's see, the Canon 70 to 200 EF. Okay. So there's this. There is the photo lens version, which is also a good, really good lens. But the one I have is the servo. This thing right here. This is a beautiful piece of glass. Now, if you were to pair this with the Pixis, oh man, it's gonna look great. Some drawbacks about this lens is only a t4.4. That's the maximum. It's not super fast, but it looks great, and it's a servo, so that means it's parfocaled. No, servo doesn't mean it's parfocal, but this lens is parfocal. You can zoom. There's this thing right here that comes with it. You can zoom, and it comes with this small little, I don't know what this is called, this camera toggle at the side. And with the servo lens, you can also get like the control that goes on the handle and plug it into the lens, and you can zoom and etc. from the handle. So this is a great lens, wonderful lens. Boom, boom, boom. All right, so let's get to some of the highlights of this. This works well with like ATEM, Blackmagic ATEM, Blackmagic Constellation. Works very well. I think if you can, like, if you're doing SDI and you connect it directly to the ATEM, you can have camera control from the ATEM. If I'm wrong, correct me in the comments. But that was the big selling feature of the Studio, the Blackmagic. I'll stop being lazy. Studio 6K. Yeah, that was the big selling feature. One of the big selling features of this. You get an SDI and plug it directly into this. You have camera control, so you can control like the color and etc. from the Blackmagic software, which was a really cool thing. Depending on the lens that you have as well, you could control the lenses from the Blackmagic software as well. So that was the cool thing about this. I think you can do the same thing with this. But if you are wireless, throw all that through the window. Like if you're using Pterodax, Holyland, not an advocate of Holyland, but I've heard some good reviews about them. I just prefer Pterodax because they are zero latency, true zero latency. And the image from the Pterodax is very, very similar. It's almost like the same as plugging it directly in using a SDI. So if you're using a Pterodax, the camera control won't work if you're using the ATEM. So that's a small drawback to this. But other than that, let's get to the accessories. This thing right here. This is the Pixis monitor. So this is the kit. So there are different kits that you can go with. You can go with the monitor alone, which is $295. $295 is crazy. For a 5-inch HDR touchscreen, 1080p, 1500 nits of brightness. I don't know how Blackmagic is getting these prices so low, but I'm not mad. I'm not mad at all. I'm not mad at all. You can do this kit. So this is the full kit. Now this kit, I would advise churches to go with this kit because this comes with the top handle. It comes with all this stuff that you see right here. It comes with the hood if you're outside. The other one just comes with the monitor mount. But this kit comes with everything. You definitely need the top handle. So if you're carrying the lens at the top, carrying the camera at the top, It's much better, and it will be balanced a bit better. What's wrong with my words today? It would be balanced a bit better, having a bunch of those things. Top handle. Boom, boom, boom. The only thing is, it's USB-C. Could be a good or a bad thing. It's a good thing when it comes to the Pixis because you can just plug it into the USB-C port in the front of the Pixis. Boom, boom, boom. So there's a port right here in the front. Yeah, this right here. You plug it right here, and you still have your SDI cable in the back that's free. So if you got like a Teradek that has a SDI through port, then you can connect other things like well, you wouldn't need to connect the monitor because the monitor is connected by USB-C, but you can connect other stuffs. I don't know. You can rig this out however you want. But yeah, that's some good things. So let's get to the price. So if you were to rig all of this out, let's see how much it would cost. One moment. All right, boom. So you add this to cart. You got 3,000. You get the EF version. So what will you need? Now, if you're recording, let's not get to recording right now. Should be. Because yeah, if this is for church, you're gonna want to do things like interviews, testimonies, things for announcements. Yeah, so you want to record. So let's just do 512. Let's do a terabyte. Let's see how much a terabyte costs. Let's do it. So we got that. Let's go we need this. Monitor. Boom. Boom. A lens. Now, you might not go with the $5,000 lens. That's understandable because that budget is gonna be close to budget really quickly if you get that $5,000 lens. But I must argue that if you have that lens, even when you change this camera, because this camera won't last forever, but that lens can last forever though. You can always put that lens on another camera that you get when you upgrade. So let's go with, let's do photo lens. Photo lens, ideally the two lenses that you should have, 70-200, 100%. Especially like if you're in the back, really far in the back, you can just zoom into that 70-200. If you have like a big church, I would put a little bit more into a lens, probably something like the DZO Tangle Zoom, 65 to, what is it, 280? 65 to 280. That would be a pretty good lens. That also is parfocal, so when you zoom in and zoom out, it keeps focus, and that lens looks really good. So let's do this, the Canon EF, but since this is an EF, we should be able to, see, get this used. Let's see what the prices look like used. Is that the only one? I mean, it's 9+. The condition is the 9+, so that's good. So let's add that to cart. we're just gonna do one. Because if you do 2 of these cameras, I would do this lens and probably the 24 to 105. Yeah, the 24 to 105 f2.8. You got those 2 lenses, you pretty solid for now. All right, so we have the camera, we have the monitor. The monitor comes with that top handle as well. We have storage, we got the lens, and we need power, battery. So the only thing about these batteries right here, I don't know how long they'll last. Like, I'll go with the biggest battery. By default, whatever the biggest battery is, I'll go with the biggest one. It's SBU98. Let's see all these compatible batteries. So we got Sony, we got IDX, a U100. That's expensive. Wow. For a BP battery? I mean, you are paying Sony tax. That's expensive, bro. If I'm paying this amount, I mean, I'm complaining and I have like reds, like 3 reds. But I wouldn't pay this much for a Sony BP battery. I would get a V-mount battery, which will serve you well, very well, because you can use a V-mount battery with multiple cameras. I would just probably rig the Pixis out so I can use a V-mount battery. This is OD for a Sony BP battery. $600? Oh, you get 2 of them, but that's an X98. Nah, they bugging. And with this, you get 2 batteries, right? Yeah, 298. See, look at this. 498. I mean, 41360. You get 2 batteries, BPU 100, and with 1 Sony, it's 445, and no charger. All right, let's do this one. Boom. All right, let's view card. Where's it shipping to? Make sure this don't show no crazy information. I'm not signed in, so it should be fine. But for some reason, it's not showing me the total amount. Let's refresh that. An error occurred. Please try again later. Well, that's unfortunate. Yeah, for some reason, B&H is tripping. They just came from holiday, and I guess the website is in holiday mode as well because it's not completely working. So yeah. This is what you need. Let me see if I could do the math real quick. And since it will be for a church, you wouldn't have to pay taxes because most churches are 501, 3C, C3, 501. Yeah. I can't remember what it is right now. All right, so let's get the calculator. Shout out to all you guys that can do this math in your head. So 413.60 for the monitor plus 1783.95 plus 645 plus 469 plus 29.95. You're at $5,841 right now. which isn't bad. Which isn't bad at all. And that includes the lens, the monitor, batteries, all that stuff. So let's go a bit more and see what that price is looking like. So we need tripod. We definitely need a tripod. And we need something to connect to the tripod because this has no base plate. So we aren't going to go with a Sackler Flowtech. It would be cool if you did. If your church has that in the budget, go with it. That tripod is going to last you forever. But let's do small rig. Tripod. I forgot. Which one is pretty good? Is it this Free Blazer? I think so. Yes, heavy duty carbon. So yeah, this is a good tripod. $3.99. When it comes to picking out tripods, there's two main things to look for. Payload and the fluid head, because you don't want to be panning and your tripod is sticking and etc. That's the wrong tripod head. And definitely the payload. The payload is how the camera, lens, and everything, if you're using like a follow focus system, all of that on top of the tripod head. And there's two things to pay attention to: the payload of the sticks, so the sticks are the tripods, and the payload of the fluid head. And you will be limited to the payload of the fluid head. So that's the most important thing to look at. So the payload of this fluid head is, as you see, the load capacity is 22 pounds, but I don't think that's the fluid head. Specs, legs, boom, boom. Oh, come on, small rig. Like, what type of specs are these? I can't do anything with this. All right, so let's just do the fluid head by itself. 22 pounds, wow. 22 pounds. So you should be more than good. Yeah. With this setup right here, all right, let's add this. Boom, $400. And it's carbon fiber. And what you need the base plate. Let's do a small rig. Base plate. No, the small rig base plate, dovetail base plate, because most of these tripods, they use the Manfrotto plate. So something like this will be fine. This right here. Yeah, this will be more than good. So this is just a basic. So you connect this bottom part to the Manfrotto. It's crazy they got a red right here. This is the same one I have as well. This is the same base plate I have, and it handles my camera. Oh, I even have this for the Raptor, and the Raptor is more heavier than the Komodo and the Komodo X, and the Raptor by itself is 4 pounds. When I build that out with Vista Prime, that can be with the monitor and etc. and batteries, that can be, I think, 13 to 15 pounds. So yeah, and this handles it. I've never had an issue. I have had it for years, and yeah, this is great. For $139, boom. Still on vacation. It never occurred. Yep, the site is still on vacation. So we just added those two, and that's plus $139.99, and add basically $400. $6,381.45. So that's what you're looking at. for a Pixis with the sticks, battery, all that stuff. That's what you're looking at. Now, you can modify a few things. Like me personally, I wouldn't go with the BP batteries. Well, it just depends. Like if one of these batteries causes the camera to last like over 3 hours, it's a win. But the only thing with BP batteries, you can't like power the Teradeck if you're using the Teradeck connected onto the camera body. With the V-mount, you can get something like a Condor Blue. Let's see which one I have. V-mount. V-mount plate. It's the newer Condor Blue. Yeah, this one. This thing is amazing. Yes, it costs $200, but it's worth every penny. The reason being is it has a few features. Now, there's mounting points. There are more mounting points. Oh, can you see that online? Yeah, there are more mounting points on the back. Right here uses 15mm rods, and you can maneuver it to whatever position you want. But these things at the side, I don't know why I was so late to discover this, but when you have like a D-tap, usually there's only 2 ports. This has 3. That's because you can put it in any orientation. So if you want the D-tap to face down, you could just use these 2 bottom these 2 bottom ports. If you want the D-tap to be facing up, you just use these 2 top ones right here. So this is great, and there's an on-off switch, so your battery isn't like draining power if it's off, because I would plug the Teradeck inside of this base plate. Yeah, there's more at the side. So there's another P-tap 3-pin port right here, and you have USB-C and 12 volt and 8 volt. So you have all of these, so you can plug everything into this base plate and plug the V-mount battery. Probably you use this right here, and plug everything in. Use the other side for like the Teradeck and what have you, and switch this off. And when you switch this off, it won't be pulling any power from the V-mount battery. And when you're ready to go, you just flick that on, and then everything is good. So that causes you to save battery as well. Yeah, so I would find some way to incorporate this into your bill. Yes, you would have to probably get like 15mm rods. You know, let's see how much it costs. So before, with the BP batteries, the total was $6,381, so like $6,382. So let's swap that out for this, and then we'll have to add like beautiful 15mm rods. So remove that. And a V-mount. We're gonna have to add a V-mount as well. Core. No, you don't have to use core. Core is kind of expensive. Let's see what V-mount batteries there are. So they're different. Oh yeah, small rig. Small rig is actually really good. 99. Can I do 155? How much is 155? Jeez. All right, let's go with 199 for right now. Boom. You're gonna need more than one. Just 2 batteries and a charger. What's the difference between these two? 5, 4. Yep, let's get that. remove. All right, boom. So 469.99, 24.99, 1.99. $139.99 plus $399.99. Get that expensive lens. $17.83 plus $6.45 plus your terabyte. And the Pixis. $7,126 for this, which is pretty good. Which is really good, actually. Which is really good. So you have everything you need. Yep, that's the batteries. SDI cable. So this price will go up or shrink depending on what you swap out. If you're going with the Teradek is an extra 2,500. Yeah, it's an extra 2,500. If you're just going SDI cable, you can just connect that, but that would kind of like defeat the purpose of being like handheld and roaming around. Yeah. Oh, let me show you what it looks like. So basically, no one really has the Pixis as yet. As you see, it's still on pre-order, but some people are getting them and they're using them, testing them out, and etc. It's supposed to ship at the end of the year. Well, they're starting to ship out already, but the majority of people I saw with this camera, they're all overseas. I haven't seen anyone in the US as yet that has received an order, which is weird, but this is what it is. Let's see. Go to YouTube. Boom. So this person is using Pocket 6K for live streaming, and this is what it looks like. Okay, so you can always check this video out to see his rig and etc. But that's what it will look like. It would render the skin tones much better than your traditional what is it, broadcast camera, because a lot of broadcast cameras, their color science is terrible. This is full frame, and yeah, your skin tones are going to be a bit more accurate, way more accurate actually. The highlight roll off depends. Don't expect red quality or Arri Alexa, Sony Venice quality, but it's gonna come pretty close. It's gonna come pretty close. If you want a bit more cinematic, you have to spend time in your streaming software, whether you use like OBS or something like Ecamm, or even the Blackmagic app. You have to spend some time color grading it so you can produce the colors that you want. But for the most part, out of camera, you're gonna see a massive difference, a big difference, especially with like the highlight roll off. And you get all of that for $2,995, which is amazing, I must say. even though the red Komodo dropped in price, this is going to be way more expensive. Way more expensive. Like, to rig it out, I think you're probably going to spend maybe $10,000. Yeah, you're going to spend probably $10,000. 10,000 plus if you go with the red. There are other cameras like the Canon C80. But as you see, your starting price is $5,500. So this is only going to go up from there when you add the lens. And you might have to go with the RF lens, because if you try to go with the cheaper EF lens, you have to buy an additional mount, RF to EF, and yeah, batteries and etc., cage and blah blah blah. This doesn't have as much mounting points as the Pixus. I mean, it does have a 4K, 6K, and it has autofocus, which is way better than the Pixus, but you know, trade-offs, which is much better for you. When I'm live streaming or when I'm at any live streaming event, I don't use autofocus. It's all manual focus. But if you prefer autofocus, then maybe the Pixus isn't for you. So you will have to spend a bit more to get that accurate autofocus. And the thing is, with autofocus, you have to use a photo lens. You can't use a cine lens. But if you're using like a cinema lens, autofocus is out the window. You're not using it anyways. You're going to have to use manual focus. So, yep. Yeah, that is it. So, recap. Is the Pixus right for you? I think it's going to be really good for many churches, especially their first cinema camera. If they want to get that cinematic broadcast, this is going to be a really good starter camera. It completely beats the other Pocket 4K, 6K versions because rigging is such a nightmare with those cameras. You gotta get a special cage, and then the battery life is terrible. To rig it out, it's just a nightmare. It's a pain. It's not that it can't be done, but it's just a lot of headache. With this, finally, you got the box, so we can finally get a proper setup, and you can put it on the sticks, and then you can take it right off and go handheld and etc., and then you be good to go. So yeah, if you got any questions, put them in the comment section and I will get back to you. I will definitely, well, I won't get this for me personally. I will definitely get it for a couple of churches that I would work with, and yeah, I'll get some live stream footage for you because it's a difference. When you go on YouTube and you get a whole lot of those live streaming tests, not live streaming, image quality tests, a lot of people probably would shoot like Blackmagic RAW and then they'll color grade it. Live streaming is a bit different because you're using it from the camera sensor. You're getting information directly from the camera sensor and sending it to whatever program that you're using. So yeah, I'm gonna get that for you in the environment, and I will let you know how easy it is or how difficult it is, but I gotta wait till the camera is completely out, especially for the US, because it's pretty hard to get right now. Yeah, so other than that, make sure you like and subscribe, and I'm gonna catch you guys in the next one. Peace.